Hello there. His mic should be working, right? Yep. Hello. I don't know if I'm gonna be posting on this on YouTube or not. It's gonna depend on whether the person who asks allows me to, but otherwise, hi. We're gonna be looking at Yugiri gameplay on Pick and Block here. We're gonna keep all the UI up just to make it easy for us to actually tell what's going on. Let's see what they do here. Okay, so very first thing we think about is where to place our snails. This is fine, but it's not fully optimal enough. Considering that your team does have scans to stop bomb plant, I would recommend to probably place your snail inside the arches instead of outside. The only time where you probably are thinking to use this if you're the one defending this area, but I don't know if you're going to be doing that yet. You probably are though, considering your positioning here. I'll lower the audio for the game a little bit. Holding the other snail is fine.
3, 2, 1.
It'll be a hit. Don't see it fast now. Now you see it. Group up your team. Right here, you're gonna get scanned. And they go into garden. How do you react? Do you put a snail down? What do you do? Get droned as well. Okay. Not really able to place a snail down because of the fact that you kind of flubbed up the couple things there. Little micro things, not too much, but it did. You did notice how it did flub up your positioning, because you were trying to get a snail down, but you realized that the double jump didn't allow you to, so then you just went over here instead. But that took precious seconds for you to start helping out this fuchsia. Like little mistakes that you don't think would help actually do mean a lot. So you do want to make your positioning, or rather, what's the word? Hone your positioning, hone your movement, because stuff like that is going to cost you rounds over time, and you won't even really notice it unless you keep like paying attention to that. Okay, let's see what you do this round. They're actually going to be hitting B. The snail that you place down is actually going to be handy. I'm surprised you don't activate it immediately, but alright. Save a bit of stuff. Okay, so here's the thing. If you are planning to place your snail here, it only really helps you when you're holding this area. And actually, no, it doesn't even help you here at all, because if by the time the enemy makes it here, you're probably going to be pushed out all the way down into the dark room. So if you do want to place a snail here, play it up here instead, because more often it's either up here or like right here, because the biggest factor is, one, they'll see the snail, so they know that there's something here. So if you place it over here or over on this wall, they can't see it, so they'll be surprised by it. Essentially, they'll be less perceptive to, say, you holding this spot. They'll just go ahead and go inside the Yugiri smoke for free, and then you get more free damage than usual. Place it under. Let's see where this hit. Just to make sure. Hit right here. Good snail. Although, let's see if you can optimize this at any point in time. Instead of placing it over here, you can place it over here, and it hits the entirety of this area instead. Don't exactly know the actual use case of it, but technically speaking, I think if you place it over here, you should be able to cover a large majority of this area anyway. And if they are pushing down inside into mid, it should do a lot of free shield decay. While you're doing that, you're holding the area. You have no more... Got no more juice in the bank. Your Flavia finally killed that Ike. I'm surprised that she didn't die faster. What is it? Round... Oh. So, here's something to note. Note that this Riichi doesn't have Awakening 1. In fact, he doesn't even have armor. Then again, you don't know he's planting the bomb. But the biggest factor is that there's no scan. There's no scan. There's no like scan pushing you out. There's nothing like that. So realistically, you could contest this. You can still contest this. It's not crazy because of the fact that your team is away from you. They're creating havoc along the bridge angle now. But what if you go inside the shield bubble and prompt this Riichi to not plant, even if like this guy is like going after you. So what you would do is very likely you go here, you ADS through the wall, so it's easier for you to actually see what's going on back here. Notice that the Riichi is being guarded, and then your goal entirely now is to get inside the shield bubble. Maybe you hit him once or twice in the head, make him scared that like, oh shit, I might die trying to plant this bomb, and then it compromises the round, and then it forces the Ming after you. So here's another thing too, because this is a bit hard, because it's gonna be all about like foresight and then awareness. If you know that your team's up here, your entire pathing should be this. It should be go in, shoot like the Riichi as much as you can without getting like killed, go outside, because your team is already fighting out here. That would be the optimal pathing, but you gotta realize that. So what you're doing here is still already fine, but again, there's still shit you can do, right? But yeah, think of it this way, yeah. The Ming actually did go out right after. So if you force the Ming to go out and start focusing you, your team that's up here can start realizing what the fuck are they doing down here, and then start shooting back. That would be very, very good. The Gal should be playing over here, and this is such a good angle, but that's what it is. So you go here, use a nade, you're scanned. No reason to bait bomb. Your goal right now should be to get kills. Your team is already winning the fight anyway. Find that. A bit of not really unawareness, probably just not knowing the exact location of the economy. It is what it is. And you get the second kill there. So overall, good round, could be better, but it's a fine round. This is like a round that I would normally expect of people. But if you really want to take it further and beyond, you should start like limit testing on what you can do to like force the enemy into a bad position, even if it compromises your own. Use yourself as bait for your team. Usually that like nets you more wins than like, you know, than just like looking to like bait your own team in damage form. But then again, this game is based off of stats, which is really annoying. Like stuff like that won't get like recognized all the time, but it does make it so that you do become a better player. All right, so it is another one of these A hits. Oh, you're pathing over here because it's either the gal's already holding the area and you want another line of fire, or you're probably like you're pathing here expecting another garden push. But then again, your team's already fighting, so I don't know why you would be expecting that right now. Shield nade, there's a note. Your biggest concern is to know where it might be. Gal is dead. That is what it is. That's fine. They have that, yeah. You do find the pick, so it's 4v4. You need to locate the rest of them. You've seen the Pusha get hit by this. ADS for that makes it much more consistent. They res the Riichi. Oh, rip. Bit of a slight, not miscalculation, but you get the idea. Bit of hesitation on that Riichi right there. So the biggest thing that I noticed this round, other than the hesitation that you had that denied the Riichi, is your pathing. What you do here is fine. This here is fine. But understanding the situation that it is right now, you don't know about the res. I was expecting your sniper to literally not give a shit anymore and then go directly for the res on the Flavia. But if she's not doing that, you have to do it. Not specifically to res the Flavia, you could do that as well. But I would just go down and cause pressure somewhere else on the low ground, because your gun isn't really helpful on the high ground. That's the job of the sniper for this round, if they can. if they can muster. But I would rather have the sniper go down insta-res and start like pulling out a deagle and just running at people. But and you should be doing that too, because if you get yourself on the lower ground, at least you're getting something much more done. It's a bit awkward though, considering that the Ming did come down. Because here's the thing. If you go down early to res... Oh, there's a note. Oh, that's where the note was. If you go down early to res, you're going to broadcast to the entire enemy team that you're going to try to res, right? That's going to force the Ming up. And assuming that your sniper is going to still play in this position, you'll know that there's a Ming over here now. So you can actually act further or faster. Now, the only problem is the rest of the team, but this person was resing. This person is not even going to try to go after you because they're a sniper that doesn't want to go in. They just want to stay on long range. And this guy just got res, so he's just thinking about surviving. So realistically, the only actual prompt, the one that's prompting to go after you, is the Ming. You're probably afraid of 2 rifles going after you, the Ming and the Lewin. But from what this character saw, I'm not too sure. It's kind of hard to tell. This is why I like VODs more than replays, because I cannot tell what like this character is seeing and what you're seeing. All I can see is the general gist of things. I'm just assuming that the Fuchsia did see one or other of the people here, and they're not going after you. Yeah. Besides, you can still shoot the snow if you do go down anyway. So it is what it is. You gotta learn to force situations. You have to force stuff. That's a part of limit testing, but forcing situations is also a very, very good way to bait the enemy team into doing something that they're not used to. So now you're going to be playing on A, no more B control, but you're going to be playing garden, so you should be fine here, considering that they are going A this time. I wouldn't peek with the sniper. I would hold a different angle. Your sniper's already holding the angle anyway, and you're just, you know, you're putting yourself up to another free shot from the sniper regardless. I would not put it out here, considering what the enemy team has been doing for the past couple rounds. It is going to help your Flavia. Let's see what the Flavia gets out of it. Not much. Considering apparently the win con of the enemy team is to plant the bomb, you just slap the Snail right here, right where the bomb plant is, because they're just going to try this again with a shield nade. And with the extra shield decay that this does, you only need to deal 130 damage to the guy. You don't even need to worry about it that much. Even if they like throw like 2 shield nades, if you have like you and one other guy shooting at this thing, that guy's gonna die. Basically, make the fact that they're planting the bomb a massive error, which is what it should be. Oh, you should be fighting this guy. You should have immediately fought that guy, because you need to fight this guy because for a very specific reason. Let's go back. Right here. You go out. This guy doesn't know where you are anymore. So let's see his point of view. He doesn't know where you are, so he is gonna throw this down and then run out. So once he saw what, like, if you went out of vision and just checked on what he was doing, you don't even care about the guy that's dead next to you, because you have to deal with danger close first. The Ica is looking to stop you from rezzing, so deal with the Ica first. So you go out, you take the 80, it's whatever. Stay right here. Use your camera to look at what the Ica is doing. Realize that there's like, she's not gonna like go out immediately. If you saw this, that should have been your go-to. If you kept looking at this Ica like this, saw her pull out some sort of nade or something like that, you just run in. She doesn't have her gun out. You have probably like a second or two to start beaming her to even out the gap between your HP differentials. Because again, you have no shield. She has full shield, but she's in your bubble. But she has no weapon on her. If you were just using this as info and not trying to get the res out, I think you were concerned about like a Ming jumping out here and pitching. You shouldn't even be thinking about that right now, because you only saw one guy here. There's only one guy. there's a possibility of another guy jumping up here, right? Yeah, that's very true. But considering these guys are scanned, which is kind of hard to actually like realize because the Fuchsia is the one that's scanning them, so kind of hard to tell. Considering the way that this game played out, you should realize that this guy's alone. Keep an eye on him. Know that he's like, oh yeah, I'm pulling out a nade and not my gun, and then start running at him. Your mind should not be on resing this guy because this guy is already here. Danger close first, then deal with the res later. Danger close. It's why defense is so good, because if the attackers are pushing and you get all the info that you need, you can just push them and like they can't do a thing about it.
3, 2.
So now it's a fake because the sniper's still here. Again, no reason for you to be here. There's no reason for you to be in the same position that the sniper is. Like, the most you can do is like confirm the kill after your coconut gets a headshot or a body shot. Which technically is fine, but look at this line of angle that you had to play through. Like, that is pretty unrealistic. Like, you don't even know that she's there. Now you know. But it's still a fake. But you're fine. You don't even care. Ooh, your gal is getting run down. Does she TP out? She does. Bit late on that. But you should find one. Find one here. Do not confirm. Do not confirm for... well, it's their fault for not trying to like look at you, but... You see, you do get shot at. You do have... a couple things with you. Should be fine. Like, if you actually know, you have what are you doing with? Wait, is that yours or is that no? You had a nade earlier. Okay, so they had the shield. They had the shield nade. Keep forgetting that these attackers are running shield nade, which is fine. It's fine if they run shield nade, honestly. If you want to confirm this much more reliably, you would probably take out your shoddy pistol and donk him twice and go back in, because at the very least you'll have some bullets in your gun left if they do try to push you. So you're kind of stuck in this corner, but your team is winning. You go after the Ming. Ricci can't really do much to you, and you kill the rest of them. Sniper is doing whatever. So that was a fine round. I don't know what they were doing though. The attackers were kind of not doing anything. They weren't pushing anyone down. So that was all you guys to just, take advantage of them not doing anything. I'm curious why you're placing this every single time, because you don't need to place this until you confirm that the fact that, yeah, they are coming over. If you want to, like, put round start snails, put them in places where it's almost, like, guaranteed that the attackers will always go to this area. So if they do go mid, it's almost guaranteed that they're probably going to go over here. So a snail will be placed right there, right? If they go on to B, they're probably going to be guaranteed to try to push out through the arches and try to plant the bomb. So you put a snail here. If they go on to A, let's think about the rounds that they've done this so far. What is the max amount of people that will go here that will actually be affected by this? So far, it was just the Ica, maybe like a round or two ago. Maybe it's like 2 people like the Ming and Luin, but they use this pathing anyway. Their snail affects no one. It's only to help you. Although Yugiri is a very... what's the word? A very selfless character, because she can literally put her snails anywhere on the map and still activate them from 2 million light years away. The strength of Yugiri is because of the fact that her utility is map wide, essentially. But you're using it more like a duelist type character, which it's fine if you use it like that, but I'm just saying that you should use her quote-unquote duelist type playstyle when the game actually warrants you to do so. So when you do see them come in, oh yeah, you can confirm that there is a guy coming up here. Then you put the snail down, like instead of like right here, you put it right here. While you're holding this angle, you just jump peek this and then place the snail right there. It's right, like instead. Use your other snail for a more for a more localized point on the map where the attackers are going to go to. Guaranteed. Like, it's either here or up here. If they do push this area, your gal can take advantage of the fact that they have no shield. Same thing with your Fuchsia. Both have scans, so they should be able to just deal a lot of damage. Same thing down here, because if anyone goes out on try to plant the bomb and like just so happens the Fuchsia scans or the gal scans, they can take advantage of that. And then you just have your snail for have the second snail for yourself. If you really need it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look, see, if they're going mid, and now there's no snail there. Like, what if you had a snail over here? What if you had a snail, like, instead of, like, you know, right here? What if you went down here to place a snail right here? They can't do anything about that. But now that there's no snail, they're just running it down. They can't do much about it. And now you're just going to place a snail at a point in time where, like, you don't even know if they're coming here. At least gather info before you know, like, where to place your snail. If you knew that they're coming here, you would throw your snail there, obviously. You would know for a fact. Oh, now you don't know. I'm surprised he didn't kill you. Good nade, though. Did throw it behind you. They were chasing you. Your Flavia picks up the kill. Big blunder on their half, honestly. You should have died straight on the spot. You should have died right when you got here. It was that mistake of you not dying was on the Lewin and Ica, because the Lewin threw a goddamn smoke down for some reason when you're out in the open. You're literally out in the... Wait, hold on. Let's look at their perspective. Let's look at their perspective for a bit. Let's see how dumb it looked. Oh, come on. If the Lewin didn't throw the smoke, you're dead. If she pulled her, if she shot her gun and Ica comes out with her gun as well, you're goner. You're out in the open. Like, maybe you could go over here, maybe. You go over here, maybe. And that would actually warrant them to push out over here. Maybe that would warrant the smoke. But you kind of pathed out into the open, not knowing that these guys are here. That like your team gave away control of mid, and you went out into the open, into a zone that you thought was cleared. But obviously, oh my god, you should have died there. You should have died there. Okay, but they blundered that extremely hard, so you're able to take that back. Do this. Lewin is so afraid. Anyway, you go out and kill her. Now it's 3v5. Now it's the last two. And not last one. Okay. But you get what I mean. You're kind of putting your snails in places that don't necessarily matter that much. Or that don't really affect the enemy. They're not really affected. That snail that you put in mid last round was good because it affected them. This snail did nothing that round. The snail's not doing anything this round. The snail was literally just sitting there doing nothing. Because you placed it there at the start of the round. So you're basically telling yourself, you're literally telling yourself, I'm going to place the snail here. And if the enemy comes here, it's good. If the enemy doesn't, I'm down a snail for the rest of the round. And that is not something that you want as a Yugiri. You need to make sure that, like, your goal as a Yugiri is to make sure that your snails affect as many people as you can. So that your fights are always in your favor.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah, and quit this. Quit what you're doing here where you're holding this angle with the sniper. It does nothing. Your gun's not long range, so why would you play that angle? If you were DMR, I could see you playing there, but you're not. Good nade. Good nade, good chase. You know, imagine what would happen if you had a snail here. like, imagine what would happen if you had a snail here. Obviously, the Ming doesn't matter because the Ming like was over here. But like, imagine this Ica had to sit here. This Ica really doesn't want to peek anymore because she has no shield. Now you're able to do it. But now this wouldn't like be as crazy as it is because like because you did poke the Ica a little bit and that she did die here, but she would die way faster and probably be a confirm if you place this snail pre-round, because it's very common that the attackers will come to this spot either from mid or from B into mid. Like they could be doing a B start and decide, hey, let's hit mid. Snail in their face. They come from mid and they do go to B, snail in their face. It's whatever. Honestly, if they go over here, it's whatever. But if they go over here instead, cool. Whatever. It is what it is. Because that snail becomes that snail at that point, right? But you have a way, way higher chance of the attackers interacting with the snail right in this area than you have all the way over here on A that's sitting here very lonely, like it doesn't like no one's around the snail. The snail has not seen their wife in 2 years. You get the idea? You get what I'm throwing up? I believe you have A2 with this, no? Yeah. Surprisingly, CN is using A3. I was playing there, which is what I'm trying to do. I've been trying to learn that for forever, but never got the chance to. But
Defenders win.
be doing next season.
Final round of the first half.
Okay, so you finally go mid this round. They're going to go A. So, like, you know, what if you placed a snail starter round all the way over here, right? And then you make your way over here. You hold your snail. You just hold it. You don't use anything with it. You don't do anything. You see them come out. That's still not the time to put your snail down. But let's see what you do. No, you just fucking throw it. you just throw it again. And like, what did you do here? You showed your presence, so they do know there's a Yagiri there. You literally just gave them free info without, like, you know, doing anything. You basically, you did nothing and you gave free info, which is much more powerful to them than it is to you. So do not show yourself like that, especially if your gun is not good at this range. If you are a DMR, yes, this is okay, because at least your damage might be meaningful. You might take down their shield, you might like do HP damage, but your gun isn't going to do so. Let the coconut do her job, get info, take a pot shot, maybe get a kill, maybe do a lot of damage, and then she backs off or whatever, and you just hold this area. They don't know you're here yet. What you just did is tell them I'm here, so they know what to expect. They know that there's at least a Yagiri on the site. So anyway, you inknade this. The snail actually does come in handy here, because now they can't just push out, or they still can, funnily enough, because they nerfed the Yagiri immediate shield decay. But the thing is, they can still rush you. If they send 3 over here, the snail technically isn't doing anything. Even if they get all if they get all hit by it and stuff like that, and they go over here and it's just like, wow, it's just cursed. They just all rush you over, but they're not doing that, because that's most of global anyway. They don't full rush. But you should very heavily think of where your snails should be in terms of where the enemy is going to be the most. This snail works because of the guys that you're playing against and the addition of what they have in their minds. Because they're thinking, I don't want to push into that because I'm alone. There's a Yagiri holding the angle and there's a snail in the way. This guy can't push it because it's a pure 1v1. If it's 3 guys right here, and I know what they're doing, they'll see this. They'll see this exact sightline and be like, we're fucking rushing this guy down because he can't do shit. That's what they're thinking. If there was 3 guys right there. But they're not going to do that because of whatever this elo is. I don't know what this elo is, but it is what it is. Okay, so obviously this is in your favor because you do have a res. I don't know if you had that decision to shoot the bomb planter because you guys had res. And if you did, props to you. Big props to you, because many people wouldn't have that foresight. Besides, your entire team went after them as well anyway. But it did prompt them to all go in. And your sniper is not rezzing. Because it is ranked. Wow. That's sad. You know what's funny? CN doesn't like the flamethrower either. I still don't understand why the devs are bugging, like, still making this weapon like BS. If CN doesn't like this weapon either. Makes zero sense to me. I realized that the weapon's kind of useless in that break. Unless it's the enhanced one. But yeah, let's see if the UI doesn't cuck itself here. Hopefully it doesn't. Okay, no, it doesn't. Okay. So you're playing Ming. Ming is Ming. You're doing Ming things. Oh, I was gonna say this is a bit much considering your lobby, but considering that your team is rushing behind you, I like what I'm seeing. The only problem is that you didn't kill the other guy. Did you not? Wait, did you not see the double 20? I saw. You should have saw the double 20, right? If you saw double 20, your job ain't done. Oh, you got focused on to the Nobu, and you probably didn't notice the other double 20. Ooh. Well, let's see what happens, because he's right behind you. Trades galore, get out of the ice, through the blind, yeah. A lot of shit happening, and I like what I'm seeing. Like, this is Ming. This is what you're doing. But, big but, you do have to have a team that will do this with you. Which they are doing, so that's what makes this good. To all of you Ming players that are Electron and below, the biggest thing you guys need to learn is when to recognize when you have a team that will go with you versus a team that will not go with you. Because CN has a bunch of teams that will always follow the Ming. It's not always true, because I played Ming yesterday and my team never went in with me, and then they started complaining that I'm alone when they're supposed to be following me. So technically it was my mistake, because my CN team apparently doesn't know how to push with a Ming, which to me is the most outlandish thing I've ever heard in my life. CN and not following Ming is like oil and water, bro. Like, it's kind of crazy. But in global, where it's more common, as a Ming player, you do need to recognize when you have a team like that, and you need to learn how to play with it. So you get hit a lot. This pathing could be much better. You probably don't even need to shoot at the flop. Your team could shoot at them. So instead of, like, you know, shooting her, you go on this wall right here. Go on the wall. Go on the wall. Stay on the wall. Stay on the wall. Makes it really hard for this Flavia to literally do anything. But because instead you went out here, you're kind of out in the open again. Free shot for the Flavia, and now you're put down to 6 HP. Very start of the round. The saving grace is that you have yourself a fragrance. That is the saving grace of what happened. Because you have a fragrance, you can actually heal yourself. But you need to be near her. The bad part is you don't recognize that you have a fragrance and you can get healed. So you don't go to her. And instead you're holding this angle in ice, which it would be fine. It's just that your fragrance, you need to heal. Healing is your priority first. Oh, see that happen. Yeah, like imagine you had like more HP to deal with this, right? You had like imagine you had like 60 HP even. I mean, now you're thinking to run away, right? Because you're low HP. But because of if you had like more, you'd still fight this. You can still fight that. Now you're healing, and now you're dead. You're not dead. Oh, now you're dead. Okay. This is why I like Strinova. The Strinova's like one of the games where you're just like, oh, you're dead. Actually, you're not dead. Oh, wait, you're dead. Oh my goodness. So that was a bit on your part for not paving correctly. Paving in terms of entry should be, you should be thinking of, yes, how do I shoot them? But you should also be thinking, what is the best way to enter without getting shot? And for here, for this specific peak in general, you would just go over here. You just go on this wall. Go on the wall. Like, go on the wall right here. Flutter, go on the wall again. Flutter, go on the wall. Flutter, go on the wall. And then jump up really high over them. I don't know if you do it here. You take the lower path this time. It's still as dangerous as upper path in some situations, but is what it is. Oh. What is your... Okay, well, your team is going mid. This is a bit awkward. Oh, that's a bit awkward. You do get him, though. But you're being followed. Trade it out. You do get... Probably got your ult, yeah. This is what it is. Your team apparently was dumb and decided to go mid away from the Ming, but alright. Global is way too selfish. Is what it is, though. Okay, it's ice. This Yvette's out in the open. And now she's seeable. Well, she runs back because of the way the Wind Nade worked. You go here. Let's see what you do with there. Can't do much. Go inside. Ooh, Meredith gone. Ooh, Meredith gone. So, this actually wasn't you. I can confidently say this wasn't you. Obviously, there's things that you could have done to make this easier for yourself. But the mistakes that happened this round was not you. It was everyone else. Like, let's see what happened. You went to entry like a Ming should. You go down. I mean, maybe like you shot the bear so that they don't have bear cooldown. They have bear on cooldown for like 2 million years. Obviously, you don't know this is here, so it is what it is. Can't really do much about it. So you kill bear. These guys decide not to push out. If they pushed out, obviously they can section off of this coconut if they can. They do have smokes. There's a... Well, I mean, there was going to be a Fuchsia here, and that she decided to drop. Like a weirdo, but... You go up, you try to enter. You tried to enter, but now your team is looking to plant bomb. In a situation where it is still a possibility for something like this to happen. So let's take a look at what they had. Note. This round was the economy's mistake. It's mainly the economy's mistake. Like, it was mainly economy's mistake because the intention was to plant bomb. At the very least, that's what it seemed like because the Meredith ulted onto site. So that should have signaled to the rest of your team that, oh yeah, we're going to plant bomb. The economy is the only effective scanner on your team. She needs to have that note down somewhere in the area to make sure that this bomb plant is safe. She didn't, and, well, you already know what happened next. Not only did your Meredith go down, she was full killed. Meredith ult does not exist anymore. So now this round is just cooked. Because that opens up the Michelle ult. That opens up this angle again. That opens up every single angle in the thing. So technically there were mistakes all around. You didn't actually make like any major mistakes, if at all. I don't even think you did. I actually don't think you made a mistake this round. This round was not on you. It was everyone else. There were so many things that went wrong here. From the Meredith looking to plant the bomb, which she didn't need to do, because she could have just lobbed her Meredith over here, and you guys rush it inside of the Michelle ult. Oh, inside the Meredith ult, and probably even inside the Yvette ult, you guys have advantage here. But she went to plant the bomb. That was the first mistake. The second mistake was these guys not pushing for pressure, because that makes it so that the enemy is going to go ahead and look over here instead, which is a much worse angle to try to like deal with this, because that allows you guys to go over here into B, if possible. And the third was the biggest one, because Kami didn't scan the area to make sure the bomb plant was safe, which led to all of this happening. It opened up the Flavia ult, it opened up the Michelle ult, and made the literally your Kami not shooting that scan earlier made it so that the Michelle ult had actual value, which is the silliest part about all of this. That Michelle ult, because of the Meredith ult, had no value, but because the Kami didn't scan to keep the Meredith alive, that Michelle turret, that Michelle ult had all the value in the world. Oh, that's sad. That's one of the sad moments of all time. This is why, guys, this is why you get good at aiming, guys, so you don't have to deal with this bullshit flamethrower. If this is a good aimer, if that coconut was a good aimer, that Kami would just be dead. That Kami would be dead. That Kami would die. So let's see what you do here in this round. So you do that. Oh, rip. Is what it is. You try to shoot her, miss all the shots. It is what it is. Shit like that will happen. If you want to make it more easy for yourself, ADS on that one. Makes it as accurate as possible. Do you not notice this? Suppose you didn't notice that. Is what it is. You shield. Oh, your plan is to go into A. Your team is dumb though, because they go over here. What? Why are we taking the longest route possible? Wait, hold on. Why is it? Was it just? Okay, let's see what the Meredith was doing. No, she just decided. She just decided to not. What? She just. And at least your fragrance would follow you. What the fuck are we doing? Okay. What the fuck are we doing? Okay, so if you want to make this a bit better, that was not on you again. That part was not on you. But if you want to make this round last a little longer and possibly win it, you go instead. You just ditch this and go over here and help whoever's over here, the Fuchsia and the sniper. You help the Fuchsia and the sniper instead. I like it's not because of the fact that like they're what's the word? That this wouldn't work. It didn't work because the other two people that were with you are dumb. I'm gonna just say that right now. They're just dumb. Like, what are they doing? Like, why are we going away? Instead of making this a 1v2, they could have made it a 3v2 for free. But they decided not to. And instead leave you alone. Like, why are we doing that? But additionally, if you come back here and help these two people, it's gonna force these two dumb ass teammates to come back with you. Because now they can't push because the Ming isn't pushing. And you're gonna go back here, push these guys out, and make these positions right here useless. Because the sniper was like all the way over here, and now it's useless. And the Yvette is over here, and now she's useless. What are they gonna do? Help them? The bear is destroyed, and you're gonna be fighting them. You're gonna be fighting these guys, and they don't have ice to help them. And you just run them over as 5 people. It's a simple numbers thing, but realistically, that was just a minor. It's a minor mistake technically speaking, because they were losing the gunfight. They were losing the gunfight in mid. So I would rather you help them out, because that would stall the round out a little bit longer for you guys to actually get fragrance heals to go out and, you know, actually like mean something. But you doing that is fine as well. If you find picks, that's already good. Like, you can leave them to die and play the 3v3 out. But, like, your team was just weird. Like, what are we doing? What the hell are we doing? What? Like, I don't understand.
The battle is about to start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So you go out onto B. The sniper or your teammates actually do something for once. You don't have to shoot the flobby. Your entire goal as the Ming is to get close enough to actually deal meaningful damage, aka get a down or kill their HP to force out Coconut Drone early. But if your team, because your team is already helping you out by doing that, right? So you shouldn't be thinking about shooting the guy. You should be thinking about how do I get here as fast as possible, as safe as possible. And then once you get to like this point or something, you jump up, look for the Flavia, and then start beaming her. If she's not there, she's not there. It's whatever. But at the very least, you guarantee that the space is much safer. What the fuck are they doing with wind nades? Oh, that's a bit of an overpeak. Alright. Bear's dead. You're gonna be in ice a little bit. Ooh, what is she doing? That's a nice. Careful, careful. You're in ice still. And you don't know who's here. Yeah, that's another thing. You don't know who's here, and your history and your team has a history of not doing absolute garbo. Your team is absolute shite. Like these players here, albeit for your sniper. Your sniper is fine. She's doing what she needs to do. She's like a general. She's a general sniper. She's doing what you expect of a general sniper. But the rest of your teammates, what the fuck? Why is this Meredith on the long range angle? Why is she here? Like these two players, whatever. But why are you here? There's no reason for you to be here. What's your gun gonna do? You're gonna tickle them. Anyway. At least fall. Okay. Well, I don't know what your team is doing. I don't want to watch your team. Your team is stupid.
Final round.
Team is doing stupid things. I'm not here to tell them their mistakes because they're not going to be watching this anyway. Surely. So you rush in. They throw smokes. You go and rush the Flav. Let's see what happens. You go and see if you can rush her. Doesn't. Gets behind the arch. Whatever. Kill the bear if you can. Why isn't your team killing the bear? Your team decides not to kill the bear. You have to smoke off the place just in case. But now they get the push out, and now your Fuchsia is leaving the fight entirely, instead trying to find something on mid. Let's see if that actually helps out. That might do something, but like your team is dying. Let's see. Does she win? No, she actually doesn't. So yeah, you have your hands tied. You really have your hands tied. So it's rough as a Ming player when you have teams like this. You have to recognize what to do and how. So many of the mistakes in this video, in this VOD review, funnily enough, weren't made by you, but the ones that were on the defense side, your Ming so far feels fine. It's not like there's glaring mistakes, but there are mistakes that like are more specific in something that you would like have in like and higher elo that yeah, these are bigger mistakes, but down here not really. They're not really big mistakes. You probably are high elo for Christ's sakes, but like this gameplay from your teammates makes me think otherwise. But the biggest thing you need to be understanding is that when you're playing Yugiri, you have to be much more selfless with Yugiri because her snails can directly impact around the map. It is a literal map-wide utility. It is, in my opinion, Yugiri, when played correctly, is on the level of impact that Gala has. Because it is map-wide. Gala just so happens to have TP to make her map-wide in certain scenarios. But Yugiri just straight up has map-wide presence because she's on defense and she can activate her util anywhere. So that's what makes Yugiri actually scary. She can literally be on the opposite side of the map, yet Yugiri can quote-unquote still be there because her snails are there. So you gotta think about that. 2, the duelist thing that you're doing with her, that's fine. That's a good thing. Like, that you already have that down pat, but you need to recognize that if you want to play like a quote-unquote duelist Yugiri, save your snail for that. Save your snail. You're throwing your snails too early because you don't know if they're actually going to be hitting your area to make you play like a duelist. Which would be like a really good thing for you to exercise not throwing snails down too early. So when you're playing Yugiri, I simply suggest that you place one of your snails started around at a choke point where the attackers almost always go to. Almost always. And additionally, if you want, you can plan the exact other site. Because at the very least, while you are going to go towards the site that's being hit, aka the opposite site that your snail's at least you're doing something. You're doing something while you're traveling to the site. Because they're attacking, you're popping your snail, and you have utility out. You're not even like present on the site yet, and yet you're doing something. Which is much more powerful than you being there and having a snail out in front of you. Like to ward off evil spirits. which is completely fine, but like Yugiri, it needs work. It just needs to have like a better understanding of what the character does, which I've already told you what it is, and better decision making there. Your aim, I could care less about your aim. Christ, dude, I hit Super String in CN with no aim. With basically no aim. So if I can do it here, you could probably get to Masters with almost no aim too. But then at that point, when you're in Masters above, like CN Super String above, you probably need aim. Once you get there, and then you can start improving that at that point. But otherwise, your Ming's fine. Yugiri needs work. That's VOD review. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I might make this into a video. And if this is on my YouTube channel, hello everyone. It's been a while. I uploaded like a goddamn Uma video before, but I will be uploading Strinova videos again if I can. My schedule has cleared up immensely, so I should be able to do that nowadays. So you guys should be seeing more shit from me. Supposedly. Anyway, bye.